misery everywhere you look. But very few people that vote really want to make that trade.
Ruben's last two examples of things Brandon can do. Third, Biden can embrace anti-corruption measures. This includes the bill championed by Representative Abigail Spanberger of Virginia in the House and Senators John Ossoff and Mark Kelly in the Senate that would ban individual stock ownership among lawmakers. And why has the White House not embraced measures to beef up the Hatch Act and give inspectors general protection against dismissal without cause and the tools they need to rigorously root out wrongdoing? Such bills are essential to democracy and would demonstrate Democrats' commitment to transparency.
I gotta say, the only way that Brandon could possibly run as a plausible anti-corruption candidate is if he had a press conference and he brought out Hunter and sawed his head off like Nick Berg. That's it. You got the laptop boy. How are you going to be the fucking anti-corruption candidate? And fuck out of here.
Finally, Biden can call out the GOP's hypocrisy on crime and border security. Congress can put out the administration's proposals to fund law enforcement and secure the border and put them on the floors of both chambers in a substantial bill to keep Americans safe and secure. Biden has ample funding for both in his budget request, but it will remain hidden in the mass of spending priorities unless Democrats make an effort to highlight them.
Oh, God. See, this is my favorite shit. And this is the real proof that these people, they don't live in a bubble. They live in a fucking septic tank that's buried hundreds of feet below the ground. So she's thinking, oh, if they put together, it's not, because obviously you can't, it's nothing to say, hey, Brandon, talk about how much you love cops and want to smooch them. He does that all the time. He cannot stop talking about how much he wants to fund the police. He's doing a Weird Al parody version of Fuck the Police called Fund the Police, and it's going to be released on Funny or Die next week. Doesn't matter. But she thinks, oh, he can intensify this if they make it a battle over legislation. So that there's a bill in Congress and that the Republicans who have to go on the record opposed to it, and that this is a drama that the American people can engage with. The only people on earth who are paying attention to that shit are in the septic tank. They cannot determine the fucking outcome of an election. No one outside of that bubble cares about that level of grit in the political system. They care about what the vibe is in their life. I mean, this is the stuff that riveted people in the 60s when people thought the government did something and there were stakes for legislation. And people remember that like, oh, the drama of passing the Civil Rights Bill. That's gone now. Nobody fucking cares about legislation.
Well, Brandon, you got your work cut out for you, buddy.
Yeah, good luck, Brandon.
Yeah. Good luck, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
How funny would it be if like a minute after this episode comes out, he's like, "Okay, I'm a Bonapartist. I'm nationalizing the healthcare system."
Yeah, no. I gotta say, if you're rooting for the Democrats, like have any like emotional investment in their prospects this fall, I really want to know why. I gotta know what you think you're supporting or protecting from the Republicans here.
Yeah, well, Matt, I think people would say is that, like, you're looking at a situation where, like, that guy David Shore was talking about this, where, like, the Republicans may get a filibuster-proof trifecta, but by once again receiving a minority of the votes in an election. But to that, my answer is good, because, like, the continuing legitimacy of the American political system is the greatest threat to our ongoing survival.
You guys hear about that ICP report that just came out? I certainly did not read it. I don't read that kind of thing. But from the gist, from the vibe that I get from it, it's very hard for me to square the continued existence of human civilization as we understand it with a second Brandon term that's going to fix things? That's going to do anything to mitigate the fucking path we're on? Like, this system, this legitimacy that undergirds it is a necessary component for maintaining a unsustainable global order.
I mean, I kind of see Brandon winning again. We'll
see. Like, I mean, it obviously depends. Like, we have to kind of assume that the cycle goes around the other way, and like you don't have runaway inflation in like 3 years, or that like maybe there was a recession, that starts right now, say, and that has time to like be on an upswing again when Brandon runs for re-election. If Trump really just goes ham on like relitigating 2020 is the only thing he talks about, he could definitely win. But I mean, My God, these midterms are cooked.
Yeah, no, that bird's cooked. But yeah, no, I cannot understand anyone rooting for anything except for like the possibility of an American Chavez or Gaddafi
Yeah,
somewhere in the
exactly.
military. That's what I'm rooting
Carnation
for.
Revolution should be like, if you're going to invest political energy in caring about anybody, you should be going down to your local military base, going into the officers XO, and just trying to strike up a conversation.
Yeah,
See
here's
what's going on
yeah.
at the mid officers level.
Here's what I'm rooting for.
My wife and I like your vibe.
Here's my crosstabs for the midterms. I hope that if you are out there, you are the most charismatic lieutenant in your entire base.
Yeah.
And I hope that you are listening to us in our plan of federal prison and executions for everyone, all profiteers in the United States healthcare system, and nationalization of key industries. Hope you're listening. If you are just a handsome military officer and you're not charismatic yet, I hope that you're watching those YouTube videos called like the Man Foretold, where it tells you how to have charisma like Don Draper, and you're using dark triad tactics to create a base of supporters in your unit. If you're out there, hope you're not in Fort Bragg. They will.
Yeah, seriously, they're summoning. I'm pretty sure they're like summoning something there.
Yeah,
like those guys are all doing like night work in the basement, like trying to reanimate some fucking like corpse that they found at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Yeah, so the outer god of blood lives above Fort Bragg, so you're not gonna want to like do this there. If you're listening to this, and
the vibes are too fucked at Fort Bragg.
Yeah,
people talk about salting. People talk about salting, like Amazon warehouses. People on the labor movement on the left, like getting jobs at those places to try to drum up union support. I fully endorse that. I think people should do that if it's in your means. If you're looking for a job and you don't have, you have multiple prospects, that's not a bad idea. Staten Island shows that like if people apply like on the ground, real effort to the work of organizing these warehouses, they can do it. And so by all means, go for it. But we also need people salting the DMs of military TikTokers.
Yes.
We need people talking to these charismatic, high follower military TikTokers, get in their ear so that they can be the faces of the American Carnation Revolution that we need.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like, oh, you're a Bonapartist. Yes. What are you going to
get morbed up? Okay, guys, here's the thing. Morbius, he may be an outsider, but one thing he's not, a champion of the marginalized.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think that like, I think about marginalized communities, and probably the most marginalized are people whose names are on like some type of list. And there's maybe like a map saying where they live.
Guys, there's a very interesting article in NBC Think by a prominent cultural critic, and I'm just going to read it because he's got a very interesting take on this new Morbius movie. I have not seen it yet, but I've been thinking Morbius all the time. Like, I'll just say that this complicates my love of Morbius. So let's dive in. In Bram Stoker's original novel, the foreign perverse Dracula is almost universally read to stand in for immigrants, queer people, and Jews.
No, maybe immigrants. I might give you immigrants. We could talk about it, but I am not budging on Jews or queers. Wrong. Shut the fuck up.
My dear, come with me into the night. And do you have any Benadryl?
I never drink milk. When asked to choose sides, you rooted for the virtuous British heroes, not the blood-sucking count.
Yeah, because he's a murderer.
Yeah, well, because he feeds off the blood.
He murders people. He kills human beings. That's the thing vampires do. That's like their defining characteristic, is that they kill people. They murder people is what they do.
In the new Marvel superhero film Morbius, the vampire is the good guy. What he is not, however, is a champion of the marginalized.
Oh, fuck off. What kind of hero, what kind of good guy could he be if he's not championing the marginalized?